Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last, the television podcast. That's what you're listening to. It's a podcast about TV. My name is Josh, and this week we have Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What is up, my dogs?
Hello, everybody. How are your days and weeks?
They're one and the same.
Yeah, they're connected.
They're blurring.
Yeah.
You still got days and weeks?
Yeah, I got days.
Oh
I got
gosh.
days. Do you? I mean, have you? How has your hygiene like gone down or something? Like, Joe, are you waking up every day and putting on like jeans and taking a shower? Is like what's your
Like
normal day
cutoffs?
look like still? I mean, if you want to wear cutoffs, that's fine too. I'm just saying, like, I feel like there's probably a lot of people in the world that have been like, man, I haven't put on a pant in a while.
No,
you know?
I'm full on living. Every morning I take a shower, I do my hair, I wear normal work clothes.
Wow.
I guess for one thing, I've been only shaving once a week, which if you grow facial hair like I do, it's more of just like one day you look great, and then the rest of the week it's just like weird, like not even scruff, like I feel like it mostly doesn't show up in video chat, so I feel like it's
when's
fine.
the last time you shaved,
Right,
Joe?
sure.
Monday.
Okay, and it's Thursday as a recording, and I don't think I see anything. Right,
That's a real,
It's more of like just a weird mustache shadow.
I see that.
yeah.
I see that
It's
mustache.
not like a
That's about
5 o'clock. It's like a 72-hour.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
just there. It
Right.
could be weird lighting. It could be facial hair. You'll never know.
Fair enough. I am not putting jeans on unless I am leaving the apartment to like
Oh.
go shopping.
I love jeans though.
Yeah, but like I love them when I want to be comfortable and out and about, but like sitting on the couch or in a chair all day long at work at home is not comfy for me to be.
It was
wearing
like
jeans.
sweatpants or what?
Sweatpants, or if it gets warm, shorts. It's like it's cooler in our apartment, even though it's warming up around town. We're like on the lower, we're in the lower level and we're facing north, so it's like stays cool down here.
All the more reason to put on a pair of pants, man.
Yeah,
It's chilly down there.
Then I put on sweats, not
Yeah,
jeans.
I guess.
But I mean, like I have been trying to wake up and take a shower, get
Mm.
my teeth brushed and
Hmm.
get mildly ready, so I like feel clean, even though I like still look like a scrub.
You heard it here first. Hygiene is important. I could use a shower. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I went on a bike ride before we recorded today, and I have not showered since. So I'm not saying I'm clean now. I'm just
Oh, you're
saying in the
nasty.
mornings I tried to be clean.
Sure.
Post podcast shower is what we're having. No one's coming over, so I didn't have to. We don't have smell-o-vision. We're good.
Oh my gosh.
That's never going to be a real thing, right? Like no one wants that, right?
No,
Wonka-vision?
never wanted to smell something.
I
from a
mean,
TV show.
maybe the Food Network wants it.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
We've been watching MasterChef started some MasterChef because we're going
Nice.
through like just the Gordon Ramsay rounds of TV shows.
Yeah, I was
And-
gonna ask you guys what's your corn files? What are you watching?
I mean,
Food stuff.
The food stuff. Yeah, we've been
Yeah,
watching
food stuff.
MasterChef every once in a while.
I found this show on Hulu where this guy puts a blindfold on and will taste like a meal, and then try to recreate it.
Okay.
Is he still
are they
blind
really-
when he recreates?
No, then he takes the blindfold off and tries to recreate it.
No, they keep the blindfold on and then they duct tape like oven mitts to his hands, so it's really hard.
Interesting. What show is that? What's that called?
It's called Reverse Engineering. I think it's just a Hulu thing. It's like an hour long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he ever succeed, or I mean,
He
no
gets pretty
spoilers,
close,
but-
like surprisingly close. Of just like he's got most of the major ingredients, but he just didn't pick the right kind of cheese or something.
Gotta pick that cheese.
I'm thinking like for MasterChef, terms. I'm like, his plating's got to be all off because he can't see the food.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't look like it probably.
They look. I mean, the stuff that they've picked like aren't. Like the plating isn't a big part of it. The one thing that was maybe the most uniquely plated was, the recipe was, what's his name? Guy Fieri's trash can nachos. And it's like a big like cylinder of nachos. So like that he had a little bit trouble of like, how do you do that? They use like a coffee can essentially, and they usually like pour your nachos in there.
The question wasn't why do you do that, it's how do you do that?
That's so Guy Fieri. I watched a YouTube video today where just offhand they talked about Guy Fieri, and somebody said he looks like the conga drummer for Sugar Ray. It made me lol.
Oh god. It's
Well,
like Mark McGrath's brother or something.
Yeah, but good for him. He's doing what he wants to do, you know.
He's doing okay for himself.
Yeah. He's feeding.
And
his
actually,
family.
he's been really good he's been really big in the coronavirus by like donating like a ton of money to food service people. So
Yeah.
he's actually doing really good. We got a rag on you because we're just jealous of you, Guy. You're doing too much good in the world.
Yeah, come on the show, Guy Fieri.
Yeah, you're invited. Well, first and last diners, dive-ins, and drives. Is that still going? I feel like that show never ends or something.
It's
Triple D.
It's got to be done.
But this is first and last. Joe, what does that mean to people that are maybe listening to this for the first time?
Hi, we're a podcast. This is not live. This is not a phone call. This has been pre-recorded.
Mom, is that you?
Yeah, we're not on speakerphone right now. This is actually a pre-recorded podcast where we take a TV show and watch only the first episode and only the last episode and talk in and around the show.
Yeah, ish.
Yep.
And talk about what we've been watching other than the show.
Yeah,
it's really funny. I've asked you that about 141 times, and you'd think by now you'd have like just a canned response.
Yeah, that's most podcasts would do that.
Yeah, there's just a sound bite
because it keeps it consistent and it's professional that way. And so we are not those things.
I think every week you just remember what you're doing right then at that moment. You're like, oh wait, what? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it helps me to remind myself. I'm just like, what is this again? Oh yeah, that's right.
What have I been doing for years now? And we're doing what show are we doing this week?
Today we're taking on Full House.
Yeah, via Gil Douglas.
Yeah,
show suggestion.
I feel like we've gotten the suggestion a lot, but we've been kind of avoiding it because we just like to do shows that we know nothing about, because it opens up our eyes a little bit to something we don't know, and it's a little fun to just like try to make predictions about something we don't know. This one I feel like we know like pretty well as a show. I also feel like I weirdly like specifically know what happens in the first and last episode.
Really? Wow.
Like I don't remember when I've seen those, but for some reason like those episodes like stuck with me, and I feel like I know exactly what happens.
Wow.
I don't think I'm confident at all in what happens in the last episode, but I kind of feel like I would know. I feel like I know the first episode.
Yeah.
And what the premise of the show is about.
When we get there, I'll make my predictions about what I think actually happens, but I won't do that for points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, Gil, this one's for you, so you better enjoy this.
This bud's for you.
Well, so it was originally on ABC. It went from September 1987 until May of 1995. So
8 seasons?
How many? 8 seasons. I don't see the number of episodes on here. Oh, wait, 192 episodes. So close to 200. So close. But yeah, 8 seasons, 192. That's a lot.
Pretty soon we can do Fuller House, because I think they just announced
is that over?
That season, that final season's coming out in June, I think.
I went over to one of our friends' house one day, and it was right when Fuller House had like come out on Netflix, I think. And she was like, "I'm watching the last episode of Fuller House. Have you seen it yet?" And I was like, "Don't worry, you're not going to ruin Fuller House for me." So then I watched only the last episode of that season.
Oh, weird. That's the thing that you do.
So we've done a few like TGIF episodes, but like this was the anchor of the ABC TGIF lineup. Like, I'm looking at some of the listings here, and like 1990, spring 1991, the lineup was Full House, and then Dinosaurs, and then Family Matters, and then Perfect Strangers.
Wow, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, and like we've done those other 3 shows except for Full House.
Wow. We did it. The power of 4.
We've done Step by Step. We've done Boy Meets World.
Dang.
We have not done Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Ooh.
We've done Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. So we've really crushed it.
Yeah, crushing this TGIF.
So I just saw a fun thing is that in the pilot of this show, the producer's first choice to play the character of Danny Tanner was Bob Saget, but Bob was not available to appear in the pilot due to his he had a commitment somewhere else. So the producers casted some dude named John Posey to play him, who only appeared in the unaired pilot of this show.
And that was the last time anyone ever saw him alive.
I mean,
did he go on to do other things?
I mean, yeah, he was in some films.
We can come back to that.
He was small parts here and there.
Yeah, I mean, he was in an episode of Seinfeld, an episode of Cheers.
Ooh, I've been watching
Jag
Cheers.
News Radio.
I went back and started watching Cheers.
Dude, he was in RoboCop 3. I mean, come on.
Who wasn't?
Yeah. Who wasn't? It's interesting. Before we even get into this show, you mentioned Fuller House earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is such a good way of doing a kind of like a reboot or like continuation of the show. Is like X-Files just added a season 10 on, like 8 years later, and other shows are just kind of like, oh, we've been off the air for 5-6 years, but we're just going to make the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Like Veronica Mars is doing that too, right?
I think.
It's like,
I think that's past tense.
Just name the show something else, but we make it very obvious that it's still this show.
Yeah.
And then
Twin Peaks, did you say that one?
Wait, what?
I said Twin Peaks, did you say that one?
No, but I mean, yeah.
Arrested Development, does that count?
Yeah, it should. Yeah, because it's been like 15 years.
Started
if they would have called it
too.
like Arrest Development, like colon, something.
Colon weird.
It would have been like, yeah. Well, it's just like this is the show that with this same people, but like everyone's older, it's different, and it's not going to be the same, really.
Yeah.
But
we started watching through Arrested Development after we did the first and last on it, and just in season 3. But I wish season 5 would have a colon, like not the like Arrested Development, not the movie we promised you.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess season 4 now has like a sub tag plot, Fateful Consequences. So in a way, it's like they did it now, but yeah. Huh. Well, the re-edit of season 4 has yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Full House. What's Full House about, guys?
Pretty self-explanatory, I think.
The house, it's full.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many
shenanigans
cooks.
ensue.
Way too many cooks. legitimately, I feel like I remember that the first episode is shortly after the matriarch of the Tanner family passes away. Danny invites his like old college buddy, Joey, and his brother-in-law Jesse to like come and like help take care of the kids. But like I think Jesse thinks that this is only supposed to be like a part-time thing, or just like I'm here for the weekend and then I'm out. But the kids want him to stay, and then he ends up moving in, even though the kids are like cramping his bachelor style.
So like the end of the episode is like he decides he's staying for a lot longer, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wait.
He like comes riding in on like a motorcycle, and he's all cool, and he's just like, "Oh, I gotta hang out with these girls. What is this?"
Is Kimmy Gibbler in this episode?
I feel like probably not. I feel like they probably focus on just the family.
Yeah, I would guess no.
I'm gonna go yes. Kimmy Gibbler's in this episode.
Like I bet they don't even have a dog.
Gibbles. Is that a feature of the other episodes?
Comet?
Yeah, I mean they have a dog. It's not. It's as feature as like Michelle is. Really.
Dog Comet.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, I think we see Andrea Barber, who plays Kimmy Gibbler, before we see Dave Coulier
Oh.
in this episode.
Whoa.
I'm calling it.
Wait, so Dave? Oh, yeah, he's not a Tanner. I just
He's Uncle
assumed
Joey.
the three guys were related because they're all uncle whatever.
Yeah,
but they're not
I mean,
really.
his name is Joey Gladstone in the show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Stamos is Jesse Katsopoulos. I can't even say it. Katsopoulos. I don't think I've ever heard him say that word out loud. So is this the prequel to ER? So after this show ends, that's when John Stamos goes and gets his doctorate and moves to an inner city hospital and replaces George Clooney. I can't wait for that plot line to be explained in the finale of this show. That's
Was
what
that
I'm
at the
excited
same
about.
time? I thought that was after this would have been. Maybe not.
Oh, I mean, ER was probably, it might have been getting started like right when this show was like ending. But because ER was on for
I bet
15
Stamos on ER was like right after this finished. ER didn't start till 94.
Yeah, and okay, so
And he
yeah,
wasn't
it was
in it originally.
like a year or two overlap. Oh no, that was the Clunes. I don't know. I don't got much else. I think we should just get into this episode and see how right Joe is. see if Joe's memory is good. Because if Joe totally failed in knowing what happens in this first episode, then he can guess away what he thinks is happening in the finale because we won't trust him.
We got Jesse on a motorcycle for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, let's find out if we get Jesse in a motorcycle as we go to the first episode of Full House.
I think it's called Our First Show or something.
It's called Our Very First Show.
Our Very
Jimmy.
First Show? Okay, well.
Our very first show.
Baby's first
which
show.
Which is not true because it's not the unaired pilot.
Well.
So it's technically not their very first
But
show.
nobody knows that.
Nobody knows. All right. We will see you after that. And we are back from the first episode of Full House called Our Very First Episode. Does anybody have a write-up?
Alternate title, Jesse trying to bang.
Ooh. Alternate title, Joey's really dated jokes that did not, impressions that do not hold up. I mean, the impressions are good. It's just like, don't, like Pee Wee Herman. You had to realize that wasn't going to age well.
Yeah.
And then
Bill Cosby.
Yeah, Bill Cosby. No one saw that coming, but.
Bill Cosby Jello jokes. Oh boy.
Ooh.
We'll get there.
So I do have a write-up. Our very first show. When Danny Tanner's wife Pamela is killed in an auto accident, he finds himself left all alone to raise his 3 daughters, DJ, Stephanie, and baby Michelle. Fortunately, Danny's hair-obsessed rock star brother-in-law, Jesse, it says Cochran. That's not. Is that?
That was his name for like the first season.
Really interesting.
And then they said to make him more Greek.
Sure.
They retconned his last name.
Jesse Cochran. So he moves in along with Danny's flamboyant, cartoon-loving friend Joey Gladstone. They move in to help Danny raise his girls. On the first day, DJ runs away, and Jesse and Joey find extreme difficulty and anxiety in changing Michelle's diaper. Do just a terrible job.
Yeah.
The end.
Let's start at the very, very, very beginning, though, with that banging theme song right off the bat.
Yeah, it opens up with like the main credits, a longer version of the main credits that you've typically seen with a show in syndication. And right away I was just like, I love this. Like they're like outside, like having a great time.
Yeah.
Like having picnics, playing soccer, doing like tourist stuff. I was real jealous.
Yeah. Do the whole San Fran montage.
Yeah. They're like fishing and stuff. I was just like, I want to do all these things.
Yeah, they were doing good. And then also, this was a longer version of the intro in general, I think.
Yeah.
But this is like the era of like just long TV intros, and like it's where all the best TV theme songs really came out of, like this like era of TV. This and like Cheers and Wings. No, I don't remember what Wings is.
Yeah, or even just like all of the other songs that like this same fucking guy wrote. Like for like Step by Step and Family Matters.
Step by Step is dope.
Yeah.
They're riding on that that roller coaster right next to like the ocean that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
so
isn't that Chicago show? Maybe
I
it was
think it's
next
supposed to be like a
Lake
roller
Superior.
coaster by like Michigan then,
or
right?
like Michigan, I mean.
Yeah,
But, like-
well, where that theme park is, like where they put the ocean, it's actually like just the highway there.
If you like really like look, if you look at it, I don't think you really have to really look. If you just kind of pay attention to the intro of Step by Step, you're like, that doesn't look right. Like, it just
they
doesn't
pasted
look...
that together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Wonderful.
rolling oceans.
So yeah, I noted that it took place 3 months after the death of Danny Tanner's wife.
Okay.
I don't think we learned that it was an automobile accident in the episode, though.
Yeah,
Did we?
I don't remember that
Yeah.
said specifically. I'm sure that comes up later.
And
The
then
only other character we saw was Grandma, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, besides just all the main people, then and then Grandma left, and then right after she left, Joey and Jesse showed up, and Jesse gets like a room upstairs, and he takes away. He must be takes away Stephanie's room, and then
Right.
Stephanie has to move into DJ's room, and the girls are not happy about that.
No.
Also,
No.
huge room. That room for the two of them
That
is
is
massive.
That's like the master suite for sure.
I was like, dang, that is like that's you could house a whole plethora of like all the orphans. They could all live in that one room, you know?
DJ just had that room to herself.
Yeah, right?
Dang.
You could put up a wall like in that room.
You could easily make that 2 rooms. Yeah, true.
Yeah, you could easily make that 2 rooms.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't work out for the show, Jimmy. Show drama. Let's just talk about that part. Stephanie's curtain climbing.
Hilarious.
I mean, it looked funny because it was very obviously she was like on a harness or something.
Yeah.
And so it looked like she was not using her arms at all to climb. It was just kind of like faking it.
So the 2 girls get in the room and they decide that they're gonna like divide it off with like tape. But the side that DJ is on has the door, so Stephanie's like, how am I gonna get out? And she decides she's gonna like climb across the like window treatments, but she's clearly just like floating there by some sort of harness.
Yeah. It like, because it looked so silly, it was like even funnier though to me. I was like, this is awesome.
Just the silliness of it was great.
Yeah.
And then DJ opened up the curtains when she got on the other side, and it made her slide all the way back to the beginning of the other end. That was funny.
To be fair too, I feel like Stephanie was being pretty cool about the whole thing. It was really DJ put up this like ticker tape thing. What do you call those things? A streamer thing or whatever across.
Yeah.
And she's being
like
kind of
police
a douche.
tape.
And then she runs away, quote unquote, to the garage.
Which also, by the way, she was gonna go down the downstairs that from the kitchen that leads downstairs. Like in later seasons, that's where like, isn't that where like Uncle Jesse lives or Uncle Joey, one of them? Don't they live down there?
Yeah, that's where Joey lives, and I thought that was
like
just
not...
a basement, but
yes,
apparently it's the garage.
Like, yeah, I never knew that was a garage. Maybe they just change it to be a basement later, and they just don't say anything.
When they were showing it, I was like, "Oh, this is the set for like Joey's room. Like this is what was the basement later in the show."
Yeah. Right, that's what I thought too. Well, maybe they're like, we don't need a garage. There's 100 people that live in this place. I'm sure we can all park on the road.
Yeah, because the other point about that is that Uncle Jesse gets Stephanie's room, but Uncle Joey is just staying in the living room.
Like the
alcove. They called it.
Yeah,
it's just under
like
the stairs. He's Harry Potter.
He doesn't even have a bed. Like, he's not even staying on the couch. He's staying in an alcove in the living room.
Yeah, at least Harry Potter had a door to his under the staircase.
I mean, Jimmy, you kind of lived like that once before, but at least you had bookshelves for walls in that apartment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, mostly.
Some like mid-college
Except I
apartment.
had like a loft, like top bunk bed situation, so I could see right over the top of the bookshelves into the kitchen. That was not a great time.
And you also weren't just like a grown adult that was just trying to live for free in like someone else's family's house. Yeah,
it was technically a living room.
Yeah, that was a weird
Thanks
thing.
for walking me down that memory lane.
Hey, no problem. I mean, adds to the comedy, I guess. I assume he doesn't stay there for very long in the show because I do not remember that at all.
Yeah, do you think by episode 2 he's still under there?
I give him 4 episodes, then he's out.
All right.
Because he's probably like, that room DJ moved into was great. Can I just live there?
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea.
Oh, also when we were in the garage room, Joe, the motorcycle was there. Jesse wasn't riding it. The stuffed bear was. So
there you go.
You just get John Stamos and giant stuffed teddy bears mixed up because he's so cuddly.
Who,
Very
Stamos?
much so.
Yeah. Fight me, Jimmy. What do you think? You think you want to cuddle up next to Stamos?
I'm not gonna say one way or the other. I don't snuggle and tell.
Fair enough. I would tell everybody.
I just live Instagram story that, or whatever you do with the Twitter machines.
Right. I guess the other thing then in the sequence of what happened is they had to change Michelle's diaper.
Yep.
I feel like Joe has a lot to say about this. I don't know why, but I just do.
I mean, not really. That Danny was at work or something, and then they were trying to like soothe Michelle, but they found out that her diaper was wet, so they had to change her. So they go through just like a series of hilarious misadventures in trying to take off her diaper and then clean her up and then try to put a new like makeshift diaper on her of just paper towels and a bag.
Some sort of cinched bag.
Why did they bring her downstairs?
There's a lot that
They brought her downstairs to the kitchen, and it was like, you don't think that everything you need was just probably right next to her crib?
Yeah.
They set her in like a cast iron pot, which totally ruins that pot forever. You're throwing that pot away. That's like a seasoned, you like take years to like get those things.
Yeah, you're definitely not supposed to like wash it with soap or anything. You know, that's like
You're washing baby butt off your pan with soap. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's silly sitcom humor of two bachelors who don't know how to do a domestic thing. But it's sold well by Dave Coulier and Uncle Jesse.
Oh yeah. I definitely wasn't. I wasn't caught up in why they. I mean, afterwards I was like, well, that was dumb.
Yeah,
but like,
it's definitely a trope.
But it was so funny when they were doing it.
Yeah, that's how I felt about a lot of the things in this pilot. It was just like, that was like silly in a stupid way, but like I was entertained.
Yeah. If you came back at it with some sort of like judging critical eye, then you'd be like, this is the worst show ever. But like
it still might be the worst show ever, but it's also the best show ever.
Yeah.
Can it be simultaneously the best and the worst?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
I guess
that's true. And then they're all tuckered out. The uncles are when Danny gets home from work, and then they find out that DJ's gone. They find her in the garage. Uncle Jesse's like lady from the night before that he met just like shows up and wants to spend the night with him.
Yeah.
And then they have to get DJ out of the garage. I mean, long and short, he tries to bribe DJ. It works for a minute until they find out that his lady caller left.
Good on her. Like, things are obviously kind of complicated right now. Like, maybe this isn't the best time.
That's a good point.
She only left when Danny told her that she needed to stay on the couch. You know, she was gonna stay in that room with Uncle Jesse and do all sorts of unmentionables. I'm sure.
I'm sure she's a stand-up lady.
She seemed nice. Hey, Jesse was gonna do it too, man. They're two single consulting adults. No problems here. But then they have like they do their like, hey, we're not only a funny sitcom, we teach lessons because we're like a family sitcom. So let's teach the hard lesson about, I know mom's gone, but we're all a family. Even like my friend and your uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part cut a little bit deeper than I thought because, yeah, like DJ's upset and Danny full on pulls out the mom card. He's just like, what would your mom do?
Oh.
Which like it cuts deep because like he's trying to like level with his daughter on like, you know, like your mom had things figured out and she's not here. So like help me figure that out. But it's also just like, it's Danny revealing that like he has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He's like lost.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good.
I was surprised about like how like that's a very like particular moment that I didn't expect from this type of show.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that this is the type of show in my memory that was like every week like something happened and there was like some sort of kind of like family lesson you could learn.
Yeah.
There's like always like a lesson of the week in a way. Even if it's as stupid as tuna and ice cream don't mix.
Yeah.
The Michelle Merritt badge episode. It's the only episode of Full House that I remember.
Wow.
She wins eventually. Her gets her merit badge by making, I think, orange juice popsicles.
Oh,
but
seems pretty obvious, but okay.
Yeah, but I do like that they went hard in the paint in the first one. And
yeah,
it was like, and they were like, hey, we've been ridiculous for like 20 minutes, but like we're not afraid to get serious and like, yeah, touch your heartstrings.
Yeah. I haven't seen this show in a long time, but in my memory of this show, they really don't get that serious. Like, there's not much
often.
Yeah, or at all, really. Even. like there's not like that's like the last rail of like emotional things that you can bring upon the Tanner family is bringing up their mom, and I feel like they never talk about the mom ever again.
Probably not. Yeah. Maybe
No, they
very
for sure do a little bit. I feel like Bob Saget, what's his name? I feel like when he like
Tanner?
dates and stuff, it's always a thing.
When he dates, he's like, what would my wife think?
So
what would my wife do?
I have children. Yeah.
I bet there's like girlfriend, like he probably gets serious with a girl and they're like, she's not our mom. Like, stuff like that probably comes up later on. That kind of stuff. And then finally they end the episode by singing the Flintstones around Michelle's like playpen. And I was like, they could do that? Like,
yeah, I was wondering about that too. They're just like, we got the rights to the Flintstones.
I'm pretty sure they do that in the pilot of Fuller House with DJ's new baby or somebody's baby.
I mean, by the time Fuller House comes out, is the Flintstones theme song in like public domain?
It's not. No.
Let's test it. Let's sing it right now.
Oh God!
Doesn't that song have to be like 100 years old and not still be copywritten to be public domain? I'm gonna look that up. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Attorney? What am I? I'm not an attorney. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was like, oh, that was fun, I guess. But I was like, oh, was the Flintstones on ABC? Is that maybe why?
They might, yeah. It might be a Disney property or something.
Yeah. Could have been something like that.
It must be because it's on Hulu now. So.
Hulu.
Yeah. So cool. Well, should we get into predictions, or do we have any more about this show that we want to discuss?
There was no Kimmy. There was just a Kimmy name drop.
Hey, she was in it.
Did I get a point?
Her name.
She wasn't there.
Yeah, there was a mention of DJ talking on the phone to Kimmy Gibbler.
Sounds like in a way we were all right.
Well, everybody gets a point.
Everyone gets
an arbitrary point.
0 points. I mean, all in all, I guess before we get into predictions, good pilot.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I mean, you get the family set up, and you get what the conflicts are going to be of just these 3 grown men trying to raise 3 little girls. It's pretty clear from the pilot.
Yep. Pretty clear TGIF show, but I think it has something. It's a little more wholesome. It's a little more fun than like I was thinking. Like this feels like Boy Meets World or something. Or it has a similar like here's the family dynamics and here's the little lesson, but you don't have like Sean going off the rails. Is his name Sean?
The Boy Meets World friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. His name is Sean.
You got like Kimmy, but that's just more silliness. So I don't know. I like it.
I'm into it. This would definitely make me in when this come out, 1979.
87.
87. I knew that was wrong. I mean, yeah, obviously it's like, well, yeah, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to keep watching this next week because the internet doesn't exist yet, for sure. So that's right. Let's go to predictions. I'm going to do mine since I'm talking. I think number 1, DJ is graduating.
Like high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might be totally... Well, I mean, I assume high school. It's...
I think that lines up. I think it was 8 seasons.
Yeah, it's 8 seasons, and she's 10 right now. Yeah. So that's why I picked that.
Okay.
I think at the end of this episode, Joey still lives in the house.
Okay.
Like, I think of all the people, like, Joey's like, yeah, I'm still here.
He's still like alone. Going. He's a bachelor.
He just has no job or
yes.
Just him and puppets.
Yeah.
He's probably still living there. What's he doing?
Dave Coulier still lives in that house.
Yeah. It's like on a soundstage somewhere.
Number 3, I think hot dogs are eaten.
Ooh, all right.
Ooh, I could go for a hot dog.
Right, there you go. Should have had hot dog night.
Right.
Oh, man.
And then lastly, I think Danny is getting a new TV job or role. I know he like was a host of like some talk show or whatever, morning talk show. And I feel like he goes a little Fraser Craney and he gets like offered a new job.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
it. That's mine.
I hope it's just America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah, that's where he
Oh
is.
man, forgot that he hosted that. What a great show.
Yeah.
I have that. Somebody says how rude.
Probably.
That was what's her name?
Is that Stephanie's thing?
Stephanie's catchphrase. And I think it's probably not said for a long time, but then it's brought back here at the end.
Okay.
And then I have that Jesse sings. I think we get a little song from Jesse.
I have that exact same prediction. What was his band's name in this?
Jesse and the
Rippers.
The Rippers, yeah.
Jack and the Rippers. Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have that Joey eats something. Pretty general. But just Joey specifically.
Hopefully
will eat
a hot
something.
dog.
Okay.
Like Jesse gets to sing, Joey gets to eat.
All right. I hope he doesn't eat. I hope he goes on a fast.
Yeah.
He looks at a hot dog but doesn't eat it.
Heartbreaking.
And then notably, due to like child labor laws, Michelle was played by Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, the twins. And I think in this finale, we're able to see both Mary-Kate and Ashley like on screen at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll find out. Weren't there another set of twins in this show?
Yeah, Jesse and Becky had a pair of twins.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But they were
That's
actually
fun.
twins, not one person.
Yeah, they were two characters, twins.
How pissed do you think Mary-Kate and Ashley were at that point? Like being old enough to be aware of what's going on? Like, why don't we both get to be on screen?
I was kind of thinking, I was like, at some point, did they like pull a Urkel thing where they had like another person be like an evil or cooler Michelle or something like that, and then the other one played that one and they interacted?
Just
don't know
to
if
switch it up.
Yeah, I don't know if they went that far off the rails, but
Yeah. You can just really tell by the performances which one is Mary-Kate and which one's Ashley.
right. Exactly.
Man,
What are
Ashley's
yours,
just
Jimmy?
not on today. I have so I think both Joey and Jesse are moved out. I think they're just dropping by in this last. Oh, and this is a two-parter. Did we say that?
No,
This
not yet.
is whatever part 1
parts.
and 2
Same night.
on the same night. So by our rules, which are, we follow sometimes. Then I said Jesse sings. Then, wow, my handwriting. Joey does at least 4 different voices. Because I always got to have an over or under.
You're gonna have to keep track of that. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I did a bad job of whatever that was last week. I totally forgot. And then, I don't know. Can I just say clip show? Okay. I think DJ, maybe she is just graduating, but I think she has like a really serious boyfriend.
Really serious?
Like I was going to say like, DJ is like engaged or something, but like a young engaged, but if she's like just graduating, I think it's just like serious to where a parent would be concerned. Or I think we'll know it when we see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Concerningly serious teen relationship.
I think this will be up for debate.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to try to debate how Jimmy being wrong whenever possible.
Oh man.
So, all right. Well, should we get into this two-parter? We got a at least 40 minutes of good old TV again. So
let's do it.
Let's do this last episode of Full House in May of 1995. Part 1 and Part 2 of Michelle Rides Again is what it's called.
I think Michelle gets a bike. I call it.
She gets a motorcycle. No, I don't know. All right, well, we'll see you after that, listeners. And we are back with the finale of Full House, a two-parter, mind you. Michelle's big ride, wild ride.
Sure.
I forgot what it was called.
Michelle Rides Again.
Oh, Michelle Rides Again. All right, there you go.
Parts 1 and 2, but it was basically an hour-long finale.
Yeah, finale of sorts. Do you have a write-up for us?
Yeah. Okay. Here's part 1 says, while out horseback riding, Michelle's horse runs into a tree, throwing her and causing her to hit her head.
Was there into a tree?
No, they didn't.
That's not really what happened.
She just fell off the horse.
Well, the horse didn't jump and reared and tossed her.
Yeah.
So she the part 2 is worse. The Tanner family helps Michelle try to regain her memory.
I mean, in reality, it's that happened and DJ was going to go to prom.
Yeah. And Stephanie is rehearsing for a play with a boy that she wants to kiss, and then they kiss. The end.
Yeah, and then the other thing is Joey and Jesse are trying to get some show deal about wrestling, I guess.
Yeah, they're radio anchors.
Yeah, whatever they were doing, but then Jesse just realizes the importance of family,
or he just realized it was too difficult to try to do this thing with Joey, and just never mind.
Yeah, and he used family as an excuse to not have to do it.
I'm busy, Joey, actually.
Also, I don't know why I thought this. We were halfway through maybe this part 2, and I was like, oh wait, Aunt Becky, that's Lori Loughlin. Isn't she in prison for making her daughter go to college?
Yeah.
I mean, she's rich, so she's probably not in prison, right? She probably just had to pay some money.
Not in prison. But yeah, the very same.
Didn't she get a slap on the wrist for doing something horribly illegal?
Yes, the very same.
Okay. So that was all I had for that. I mean, my really big takeaway from this whole episode, and weigh in on how you thought about this, but when Michelle came home after falling off the horse and having amnesia, she was asking all the real questions, all the questions that we as listeners and viewers of the show.
It was a little bit meta.
Yeah, she was like, wait a minute, how many people live here? Are there enough bathrooms in this house? What are the logistics? Yeah. I don't think this works out.
Who lives in what room?
It looks pretty small from outside.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty funny.
It's good.
So, I read, and I'll read it off Wikipedia, the internet's most trusted source of information. That actually might be true. In 95, despite the fact that the show was still rated in the top 25, ABC announced that it was canceling the show after 8 seasons because it cost on average of $1.3 million per episode because of how long the show had been going.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently there was...
It's a lot of contracts.
It's just every year everyone gets a raise, and then you have to pay them all that, and it gets a lot. Apparently there's plans to move Full House to the WB network, but those fell through.
Mm-hmm.
And so then this Michelle Rides Again, this 1-hour series finale, had 24.3 viewers, and it ranked 7 that week.
24.3 million.
Million, yeah. No, 24 people watched it. That's how many.
24 and a third person.
That was someone's dog.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it's I mean, in a way, this show kind of ended unceremoniously, you know? That was just another... I mean, it could have been like that was a fine season finale, I suppose, for like season 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
As long as there was a 6 and a 7. But it's sad that an 8-year show that was pretty much based on these like ratings was pretty beloved the whole time. Especially it got better. Like season 5's its highest rank was 8th in like the country for shows watched, I think.
Yeah, a full-on Full House finale would have looked like Danny's getting married, everybody's moving out of the house.
Yeah, it would have been every trope known to man.
Yeah.
When it comes to like family sitcom ending, but it still would have ended the show, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't even have to do that. DJ would have went to college.
Uh-huh.
You know, Danny would have been remarried. Uncle Jesse and Rebecca would have moved out with the kids because they bought a new house like a block away.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
they knew they could still be together. The two other, Michelle and Steph, would still be living there, but because they're just too young. But like,
Michelle would have fallen off the horse and died.
Yeah, she would have just died instead.
Joey would have still lived there. That would have been. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, the end probably would have been the
last
wedding.
shot would have been like Joey writing a memoir or something that gets turned into a TV show.
It would have been season 9 of Roseanne. Michelle didn't actually die on that horse. Actually, we won the lottery.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this episode?
Yeah, I guess it didn't feel like... I expected it to feel more like a series finale than I think it did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had said stuff about the first episode that it was like really corny and terrible, but very fun in that way.
Yeah.
And I felt like this finale was really corny and terrible. And that's it.
That's it.
I forgot the fun part.
Yeah, it just like not fun because like the corny parts were about just like just that like Michelle can't remember anything and everybody's trying to like force her to remember things and they're like acting like that's a really dramatic thing, which I guess would be traumatic if that were a really thing that happened, but like it just didn't feel like it's kind of out of nowhere that like, oh, and Michelle doesn't remember anything. And they're trying to get her to remember things, and now she's like this like sassy bitch. It's just like, you guys hug all the time.
She just can't even.
Yeah. Yeah, so it just
She's basically like DJ from the first episode.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, so it just kind of felt cheap and terrible and just cheap and terrible and not actually like fun in that way.
Also, fun fact, so I Googled, is Amnesia real?
What? Like you're not sure?
Well, obviously like people forget stuff, but here, this is from the Mayo Clinic.
Cool.
So amnesia refers to loss of memory, such as, loss of memory. Though forgetting your identity is a common plot device in movies and television, and that's not generally the case in real life amnesia. Instead, people with amnesia usually know who they are, but they have a trouble learning new information and forming new memories.
Okay.
It's almost like the reverse.
So like after that point on, they have a hard time.
Yeah. So the two main features of amnesia are difficulty learning new information following the onset of amnesia, and difficulty remembering past events and previously familiar information, and that's retrograde amnesia. So like it is like hard to remember things, and you may like lose some stuff. Yeah. But generally, people don't like have no idea who anybody is. Don't know who they are.
Yeah, it's not like a memory wipe.
Yeah.
Just a Men in Black situation.
Yeah, just it's all gone.
A forget me not.
I have no memories, but I have full control of language and like social cues.
Right.
Yeah, it's obviously it's a little played up when it comes to TV and stuff. And yeah, it just seems unusual that like you can know what a dog is and know what a house is and know how to speak the language that you've known perfectly, but for some reason you don't remember your name is Michelle and your dad's name is Danny.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a specific spot that
was pretty
odd.
Great in the hospital scene where Danny, Joey, and Jesse are seeing Michelle for the first time after her accident, and they go in and they start talking to her and then realize that she doesn't remember them. And then they go to the doctor like, hey, what's going on? And the doctor's just like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. She might be dealing with some like head trauma. It'll wear off.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Sorry,
something like that. I don't know.
Before you walked into this room, I didn't explain to you this very traumatic thing that's probably
I
happening.
didn't prep you at all. You're just like, yeah, go ahead. Go check in on her. See what she knows.
That's never happened in any doctor scenario.
What
anyway.
she says might surprise you.
Walk into this room to find out what happens next. So, it's funny. They're very odd. I'm just sad. I'm sad. I'm like sad for this show that maybe they thought they were going to the WB, you know? They just thought that was going to probably happen, and then it didn't. So they just had this episode as a season finale, and they didn't get to end it. There's almost a couple things. That could have been part one. Part one could have been she fell off the horse, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been like, Danny's going to get married, but then Michelle fell off the horse. So, like, oh, is the marriage going to happen? Stay tuned to part two. And then part two is like, oh, she remembered. Everything's fine. Here's the wedding.
Yeah.
Here's the
Boom.
wedding.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was going to be a wedding. Let's be honest.
There was wrestling though, so that's fun.
Yeah, that was random.
Jesse and Joey got caught in a leg lock they couldn't get out of. Little acrobatics.
They were really showing us the skills that they had. Those super duper skills. Yeah. I'm a little sad about that. I still thought it was like a good. I don't think it bugged me as much as maybe Joe said it bugged him. I thought it was just like another quirky episode of the show. I feel like it was very Michelle heavy. I mean, obviously she was the one that was couldn't remember anything, but even then, like almost every scene was like her being sassy. Like if anything was funny, it was like her being like, I don't know who you are, weird dude. Like that's the parts that were good, and everybody else was kind of just like supporting. Did Michelle become like a really big staple in the show, like so much that they relied on this small child actor or two?
She was definitely a star. I don't think it was quite like Urkel level.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like for the first like part of the show's life, they really expected like Stephanie to be like the cute kid star. And then as Michelle grew up, like she was just like more adorable.
Yeah, Stephanie was kind of like the cute, adorable, like main part of the first episode. I thought, yeah, and I was sold on that. I was like, she was old enough where she could deliver her lines in like at least a funny kid way.
Yeah,
you know, and she could actually do it pretty well. And so then, yeah, maybe as she, I don't know, grew up and became a high schooler, and everyone hates high schoolers, so they got rid of her as the main kid.
Sure. I was thinking like during this Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. I don't know if you guys ever saw any of like their movies and stuff after this, like well after this, that
like a New York Minute.
Like they just never got any better at this. like the acting is exactly the same from this episode that we just watched and all of the rest of their career.
Well, I don't know how much they did. I mean, They did movies in the early 2000s for a while, but then I know both of them, besides I think all the drugs, started to do like they think they both did like they went into fashion, and that's like what they wanted to do. So
Sure.
I think it was probably some of their choice at least to step away from the acting. I bet they could still get a role right now if they wanted one. There could be some sort of weird sister sitcom on NBC tomorrow with the Olsen twins on it if they wanted it, I bet.
Well, like they chose not to be in Fuller House, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do some like tongue-in-cheek jokes about how that Michelle's not there, which is fun.
Because Michelle's got better shit to do.
Does she though?
I don't know. You're making money some other way. You don't need to go do something else. Hey, you know what? If I was an actor on Full House and I had nothing going on and they were like, we're going to do Fuller House, I'd be like, hell yeah. Need to pay rent this month. But like,
I got some habits.
Yeah.
I
have a very expensive lifestyle that I need to keep up. Yeah. All in all, like I'm a little disappointed in the ending of the show, mostly because I'm sad about it for them. I thought it was a fine episode, but once again, it was just another episode. At most, it was a season finale, but it was definitely not a series finale. But I don't think that takes away from the fact that this show's obviously great. Yeah,
obviously fantastic.
Obviously, this show's great. Show me someone who doesn't like this show, and I'll show you a dummy. No, I'm just kidding.
That person is a communist.
Yeah.
I'll show you a real jerk.
I don't know. Thoughts, Joe or Jimmy, on that? For
I just wanted
to /show and whole.
When we first come in the first episode, we see like Joey and Jesse, and they both have like just kind of like overgrown haircuts. It's hard to describe, but I feel like this was a moment in like the mid 90s when this was actually filmed. Was this 1995?
This one was 95, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like their hair is just like a little bit long, and like they kind of look like they both have like COVID haircuts. Like,
yeah,
they're just like, they should have had a haircut like 2 months ago, but like it's grown out a little bit. And like that used to be the fashion, I guess, if Uncle Jesse's rocking it.
Yeah, good point.
He's got to be at the peak of hairstyle fashion, right?
Know.
And like there was one line that kind of stuck out for me, for being like a like very PG or even G-rated like family sitcom where,
when Uncle Jesse grabbed Becky and said, "I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker."
This is it. We both die tonight.
That was weird. I thought that was weird too.
There's a scene where Danny is coming back from like a horse riding thing with Michelle, and Danny walks in like carrying like a saddle and a camera, and Stephanie goes, "Oh, a camera and a saddle, big date tonight." I was just like, was that like a weird like sexual joke in the middle of this, like made by a like 13-year-old girl?
Yikes.
Hey, they got a good relationship, that father daughter.
Yeah, and like the studio audience just kind of giggles at it, just like ho 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 ho.
That was
Daddy gets
that
weird.
was uncomfortable laughter. Is what they were doing.
Danny likes horseplay. Ho 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 ho.
Bob. I mean, that was Bob Saget, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen his stand-up? Let's just blow past it.
But I've heard he's very,
He is not Danny Tanner in real life.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Not in his stand-up, anyway.
And I thought there was stuff about him just like swearing all the time on set of Full House and like making dirty jokes, like in front of the children.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Probably.
He's
He's a comic, you know.
His stand-up would, if that's any Anyway, I don't know. This show, it's hard to judge by this last series. Series finale. Season finale. The only
It's
other
not hard.
thing,
It's just a good show. Just deal with it. It's a good show.
That's fine. So I started looking up Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, and then that got boring really fast. But the other twins that were in this,
Nikki and Alex.
Yeah, I think they made an appearance in Fuller House. But other than that,
they were in it.
Other than that, they never acted again. But they both went into like sound in the biz. They're both Foley artists.
Oh, how interesting!
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
They're what artists?
Foley artists. So it's just like Jack Foley's. It's just like sound effects, basically, right?
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like post production, doing the actual like sound stuff off camera.
That's fun. I mean, it's cool when people get to be like child actors and then they don't become crazy people because that messed them up, and then they get to use like the means that they accumulated like throughout their child acting to like pursue some sort of actual dream of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's enough Lindsay Lohans in the world and Britney Spearses in the world that like two sane like child actor twins can go do a different job and be happy and not crazy people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a nice
like
story.
Even like Jodie Sweetin like lost it and came back.
Which one's that?
That's Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she like in her book, I think she said that like she was doing like motivational speeches at colleges, and like right before the speech that she gave at Marquette about like staying off drugs and like keeping on a narrow path, she like was doing coke in the bathroom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
If someone's doing some sort of commencement speech or a speech at a motivational speech at a college and they're very adamant about not doing drugs, that person probably just did drugs.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
This person's currently very high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Probably.
Across the board.
Cool. Well, hey, let's do this. Let's do this prediction stuff that we got going on.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I can go. I had that Stephanie or really anybody. I don't think I specified Stephanie. I think anybody was gonna say how rude Stephanie's catchphrase.
Yeah, you just said how rude was gonna be mentioned.
But nobody. There's a lot of rudeness, but nobody called anyone out on how rude it was.
She was gonna call out her amnesic sister. How rude.
How rude.
Listen.
And then I had one for Jesse Sings, which him and the boys sing Teddy Bear to try to get Stephanie or Ashley or
Michelle.
I'm trying to remember. So a point for Jesse Sings. I also had Joey Eats, but Joey did not eat. He was wrestling. There was a brief scene with food at like the horse competition, but no one was eating.
And
And then
just the craft table.
Just some hot dogs laying out. But then I had that we see both Mary-Kate and Ashley at the same time, and we do in like a dream sequence that Michelle has. She gets to see like her old self.
Yeah, and the second twin had a little reverb on her voice.
I thought they were gonna have like a curtain call or something in the opening credits.
That's the dog noise.
Yes,
right, Joe, that you just heard.
Are those the bats?
I'm pretty sure that's a dog because that's at the door and it sounds very big. And now it's growling.
I see a secret thing as through this episode. Joe's been like staring around on the Zoom call, like trying to figure out what's going on because he may or may not be hearing like critters in his wall. So, and then the dog was definitely just banging on the door to try to get in.
All right.
Because I thought those critters were like really taking it up a notch.
Zelda in the house now. So if you guys hear
Zelda's
some like weird growling, that's my pup.
We're almost done. It'll be
2 points.
2 points though.
Wow.
All right.
Well done.
Nice. Very good. Okay. I'll run through mine really quick. I said DJ is graduating. She's so close. She's going to prom.
Yeah. Like a month away, maybe.
Yeah, a month away. But I hear Joey still lives in the house at the end of the episode. Everybody still lives in this house.
Everybody lives there.
So, but I'm taking it. Hot dogs. No one ate a hot dog, unfortunately.
No.
I could have swore I saw them out. Like,
yeah, but I said I wanted someone to eat a hot dog.
Definitely no one ate one, but I think they were like there sitting on tables in front of them. It was close.
Like I was looking for a bite to be taken, and it did not happen.
Close.
And then my last one was Danny is getting a new job / role at the TV station or whatever. But no. But I'll take my 1 point. Thank you, Joey, for not moving on.
I had Joey and Jesse are moved out and moved on. I also had Jesse sing, so I got 1. Joey does at least 4 voices. I think he just basically did the woodchuck thing.
He might have did like one other one, but I don't think he might have.
I think he maybe had a little bit different when he first came out in his wrestling outfit.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out if he had like a wrestling voice, but that's only 2 anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And then DJ having a very serious boyfriend, so they bring back a guy at the last minute for her to go to prom with that she was dating, but I don't remember who that was or anything about him.
Yeah, that's her boyfriend, Steve.
That was her boyfriend, okay. And then he like left.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he wasn't technically her boyfriend anymore since she was trying to go on dates with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So
he must have moved.
Did he go to? Did he go to college or something?
He must have.
Yeah.
Something.
So
is he? If you've watched, who watched Fuller House? Josh, you did. You just watched that one. Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you if she's. Because what's her deal? She's single in that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't she?
Yeah,
I would think so.
I think she's single. She's the single one with the kid in that one, and she moves back into the house, and then like Stephanie moves back in.
But I swear that guy is in that.
I think he's around. I think he like lives down the street or something. I think he shows up.
He like comes back into the picture.
Yeah, and then all the other cast just like come in for like an episode here or there, and then they just make fun of Michelle for not being there. Like, yeah,
nice.
And that's why you don't say Full House season 9. You say Fuller House season 1. Good job, guys. Okay, well, you got 1 point, Jimmy. So Joe takes this again. Joe is taking this season by force right now.
He's crushing
it. We gotta,
points, baby.
We gotta start laying down some just easy to get points here and some predictions to catch up with Joe at some point. So, well, that's it. That's our show. We're done. Thank you. Was it Gil? Was it Gil for the show suggestion?
Gil, maybe short for Gilbert.
Thank you, Gilbert von Facebook user.
Gilbert Godfrey Douglas.
Hitting us up with this. This was fun. I liked it.
If this turns out to be a bot,
I could see myself watching 1 or 2 episodes. If I turn Hulu on, it's like keep watching Full House. I might say okay. It's feel good entertainment. That's for sure. So, but if you listeners want to make show suggestions just like Gil did, you can hit us up at F&L Podcast on the Gmail, on the Twitter. There is a Facebook. Jimmy does something with that. He posts stuff, likes it.
Stuff's been posted.
Tells us when when someone gives us show suggestions on that part. So please do that. If you're feeling like you want to rate us stars, also do that 1 through 5 on your podcast app of choice. Helpful, they say. And that's really about it. Appreciate you for listening, and we'll see you next week on another First and Last. So what happened at the end of that 70s show?
Joe says bye, and I pointed it out because we always leave you hanging. And I said that made me look like a dick, and then that's where you cut it off.